What is up, friends? I'm on my way to show you the next tutorial video, which is how to make money through rented mining, both with using the rock for mining for gems, as well as using the prospector to mine for cores. While we're on transit, though, I want to walk you through a different video that's kind of a tangent from the others. With Invictus going on right now and Free Fly Week, I've had a lot of people in my orbit asking, hey, what do I do? What's the next thing that I should buy? What should I be working on? And I want to walk you through step-by-step process of how I think you should start off the game, what ships you should buy, and in what general order. So let's get to it. First things first, before I even show you the first ship that I'm recommending you buy, I think that everyone should start off with the Mustang. I know that a lot of people will tell you to get an Avenger Titan. Look, I have one. I like it. It's fine. It does a lot of different things. But I think you should only start off with ship-to-ship combat when you're first starting. It works really well. It's probably the best developed of all of the modes of making money. And it's the least aggravating as a new player. So I would recommend just getting a Mustang, doing some ship-to-ship combat, whether that be bounties, or otherwise. I think that that's going to get you the very best return on your investment. The next thing I'm going to say here is this is kind of general guidelines. Feel free to buy any of these in whatever order you want to. This is just my thoughts on what you should do and why, and these ships, in my opinion, are best in class. So, jumping straight into it. First things first, you want to get to rock mining, in my opinion. It's one of the cheapest things that you can get doing, and this is just this total package is going to cost you about 1.2 million credits. So it is going to take you a little while to grind if you're just doing bounties and such, but you'll get there. Just put your nose to the ground and keep on working, and you'll eventually make it. But the Nomad is really great because it's going to give you 24 cargo space, and importantly, it's basically like a pickup truck. This rear vestibule, whatever you want to call it, is actually like a retractable ramp that you can drop down. And because of its gravlev landing pads, landing feet, whatever you want to call those, it can actually float above the ground when it lands, retract this kind of basically pickup truck bed, and then you can drive the rock in and out of it, and it fits just perfectly. You guys saw that in my rock mining video that just barely went up. So you've seen how this works. I really like the Nomad generally. It has a great aesthetic. It feels good. Has 3 size 2s on it. Those actually might be gimbaled, so you might be able to actually put 3 size 3s on there. Personally, if you're just doing it for rocks, I think 1 laser, like a cannon, and 2 ballistics makes the most sense. The only time you're ever going to be fighting is if a pirate tries to plunder your booty. So just go ahead and get that, and you're gonna have the most success there. So so that's what I would recommend first. The next one that we're going to recommend here, and I'm going to try to get through this as quickly as possible. I'll click off of this. Oh my goodness, it's stuck. Oh well. Next, the rock. So the rock, that's 0.8 SCU. Costs 172 to buy. It's very affordable, and it's going to be probably one of the best bang for your buck investments you can make in the game, except for our next suggestion, which is the Prospector. The Prospector costs 2 million. You can rent it, and I'm going to walk you through how you can rent to make money with it. Almost everyone in the verse is going to tell you, though, that renting is a sham for a couple reasons. I actually think the most annoying one is the quantum drive. It takes it's so long to spool up a rented quantum drive. The second is it just you don't get a good laser on it, and you can't put modules on it, so it just is a little clunky that way. You also want to put stealth parts on this so that it's harder for people to find you. And that wraps up the Prospector. I'm going to be walking you guys through how to use that in a video that's going to come out as soon as I finish quantum jumping, as you've probably heard in the background. The next one is your foray into everything. And I am a big fan of the Constellation Aquila. You can rent the other Connies, as they're called in the verse. The Constellation Andromeda specifically, it is cheaper. I think the Connie Andromeda is only like 3.5. So this is quite a big step up to buy the Aquila. So why is it more money, you ask? Well, there's a couple reasons, and I think the most important is purely for the view out the front windscreen. It is much more bubbled, and the view is significantly better. If you have questions about that, let me know. I'm not getting super in depth about these. This is going to be my next ship I'm buying, so when I buy it, I'll get a Andromeda, and I'll do the walkthrough so you guys can see them compared if that's what you like. If you do want to see that, put that in the comments. More than happy to do that. It's been a slow grind, but I'm getting there. It is a great multi-crew ship. This one does not have 2 turrets. It only has 1. The other turret is a scanning turret, which right now is not useful, but when the pyro system drops, I think this ship is going to be a much better option for you. It does also come with an Ursa rover. Ursa's not expensive, but it is nice to come with it, and it does come with the P-52 Merlin. The Andromeda does as well, but I think that this is the perfect ship if you have 2 friends that are playing with you, so 3 total people. I think it's perfect. You can totally take a 4th person and have them man the co-pilot seat, or take the scanning bubble if they want to do that. But if you're doing 3 people, you have 1 person manning the armed turret and 1 person manning the Merlin, and it can be a total riot flying this ship. It's also very, very good solo for high-ranked bounties, where you can make a lot of money just doing bounties with this ship. It is a bit of a boat, but it does have size 3 shield generators that make it so this thing can just tank any fight. And it does have, for weaponry, it does have 4 size 5 gimbals on it, but you can go ahead and replace those with 4 size 5 cannons and just manually aim that. It's just so much damage. The DPS is insane. It does come with fewer missiles than the Andromeda, so the Andromeda is totally a viable option. They both have the same cargo space, 96 SCU, which is enough to ferry your quant mining winnings back and forth from a Lagrange point back to a port where there you can sell the refined Quantanium. Made me tired. So that's the Connie Aquila. Next, for bounty specifically, the Vanguard Sentinel is fantastic. This is probably the ship I might actually go for this before I get the Aquila, just because it's so much fun to use. Has great damage output. For weaponry, this thing has 1 size 5, 4 size 2s. I totally think for these you should go all cannons and go for big bounties. Very hard. Extreme is probably too rough for this one right now. Some people are able to do the extremes by killing the adds around the hammerhead and then dropping the shields on the hammerhead and using the EMP and just rendering the hammerhead useless. It'll just kind of float, and then you can just ping it. Shooting the bridge is probably the best way to get that killed straight away, or the body. Just forget about trying to kill all the turrets. But so it's something you can do. It does come with sucker punch manned turrets, so you can swap this though and get some different weapons up on that manned turret. And it does have 2 beds, so this is great for just if you have 1 person who likes to play with you and they don't maybe play nearly as much as you do. This is a great ship to just always have ready so they can load in and just be with you in the ship, do some bounty hunting missions. It doesn't carry any cargo. There is space on the inside if you want to like throw some boxes inside of it, but the ramp isn't quite as favorable as like the Avenger Titan. So do what you want with that. The EMP is really fun though. So that's the Vanguard Sentinel. I would say this is almost purely for bounties. I mean, you can also do like some defend missions, escort missions, in deep space, I'm in trouble missions, whatever you want to do. It does tank pretty hard because this does come with 2 size 2 shields. So it will not immediately die. Great selling point. Anyway, it's tons of fun. I highly recommend it. I don't think you can rent it right now. No, not. It was available during Free Fly Week, and I just fell in love with it. I thought it was the best of the Vanguard series. It is probably the most. I think it comes with the least amount of hull damage hit points, but it is by far the most maneuverable. So I don't want to say by far. It is the most maneuverable of them, and it feels good. It's fast enough that you can fight small ships. It's tanky enough you can fight big ships. So really good reach there. Next, just purely for hauling cargo, the Hercules C2, the cargo variant. This carries the most cargo in the game. It has a massive bay. Go look up YouTube videos on how much stuff you can fit inside this bad boy. Tons of people have videos on seeing what ships they can fit inside of it. The cargo variant has less turrets than the bomber variant, the A2, and fewer turrets than the military transport one. But it has like an additional 200 cargo space on top of the Hercules. M2, the military variant. So, and it still has quite a bit of girth. It's still 2 size 3 shield generators. The biggest knock here, I'd say you get 2 size 4 on gimbals to start with, but you can upgrade those 2 size 5s. I would probably change those to 2 size 5 cannons, just so you can knock out something very quickly. And then relying on a turret if you expect to get into a firefight. 4 size 4s is pretty solid. It does have, so this is saying 2 turrets. I think it's only 1, but it might actually have 2. Either way, it's pretty solid. It's really fun to fly for a giant boat, and more importantly, the fun part about it is just everything you can stock inside of it. But this is what I'll be buying eventually, to just rake in money from quant mining, and then when cargo and shipping and trading actually becomes valuable in the game, I think that this is going to be the go-to for a lot of players, just because it is such a thick boy and very defensible. That said, if you want to try to go for a little different angle, this one does cost about 5 million. A different angle that you could take with this is actually to go for the Drake Caterpillar. That's going to be previewing at the time of filming today. This video is probably going to go up in a couple of days, so you might have missed the opportunity to do it during free fly if you are only hearing about it for the first time in this video. I'll be trying it out, seeing how I feel about it. It does have this detachable command module, which is pretty cool, which is basically just like a separated little ship, basically an escape pod, but you can actually kind of pilot it. It does come with about 100 less cargo, and it only is 300k less. It's not even 500. So, and for shields, it is 2 size 3s, which is the same, and 2 size 1s on that little command vessel. So that's why you're seeing all these size 1s here, is because it does have this like separately operable command control. Jeez, I am tired. Trying to deal with a 5-year-old who sorry, he's not 5. My son is 3 years old, and he wakes up at 5 in the morning, and it's making me very tired. Weaponry, this one comes with 1 size 5 dual weapon mount, so you can fit 2 size 3s on there. So it's 2 size 3 cannons, and then you got 2 size 3 gimbal mounts as well. So it does come with like decent weaponry on this bad boy. I just think the Hercules is a little bit of a better option. That's just me personally. I just think I also like the aesthetic of the Crusader a little bit more. So follow your heart, do what you think is best. I just wanted to give you 2 options for that. Last suggestion will be for instant bounty wins. Great team play. No other than the Retaliator bomber. This thing is a beast. You don't get any control of weapons, but one of the suggested builds for this is to strip off everything except for 1 little shield generator and 1 power plant, stealth components, and then to make it so you are as stealthy as possible, power everything off except for your size 6 torpedoes, size 9, sorry, your 6 size 9 torpedoes. These things will instant kill essentially everything in the game. So you can take ERT missions, chain them back to back with S9 torpedoes. You can go out and do 6 of those missions right in a row, Bing Bada Boom. In Crusader system, it's really quick and easy to do that. So I do recommend the Retaliator Bomber for that purpose. If you are multi-crewing, this thing is an absolute nightmare. It has, I think, if not the largest, like a top 3 largest health pool in the entire game. It just is a tank. None of the weapons are fixed to the wings, so if your wings get knocked out, you're fine. I didn't feel like the torque imbalance was really all that bad on this ship either. It still flies really well, even when you take a beating, and you can stay out there for a long time. My brother-in-law and I flew this for several hours. I think we only had to reclaim it once. It was seriously some of the most fun I've had in the game. This does come with 3 size 4-man turrets and 2 size 4-man turrets. These ones are remote turrets, and these ones are manned turrets. And the manned turrets are nuts. They will shred anything that comes at you. They have good field of view. Yeah, I can't recommend it enough. Honestly, this was some of the most fun I've ever had, and it just being able to throw those torpedoes is a totally gratifying experience. Instant kills your bounty targets, gets you tons of money. Highly recommend it. Now, if you want to fly something that's just for you that can still throw torpedoes, so I do want to point out this one costs $4 million, and the next option is not that much cheaper, and you do lose a lot of flexibility. You can't do team play, and you have to reload your torpedoes much more often. But the only other size 9 torpedo option is the Eclipse Bomber. This one comes with all size 1 stuff. So it is very flimsy. If the wings get knocked off, the torque imbalance is brutal. It's kind of a pain to land because you're assigned small landing pads and you have this massive girth around your wings. They do fold up right here, but it still is quite long. The profile of this is pretty nice unless somebody gets on you broadside and then you're screwed. The shields don't last for very long, but you do get 2 size 2s. They are fixed on base, and you would probably want to upgrade these. I would change these to lasers just so you can, if you need to hang in a fight, you can. I flew this and I really enjoyed it though. So even though I'm kind of knocking it, just when I was flying it personally, I really enjoyed it. I just don't think I just don't think it is worth the value for torpedo racks alone. Like being able to go, you can only go out and do chain 3 of these in a row before you have to go reload. Whereas with Retaliator, you can go do 6. So why would you take this when you could take the other one for only 500k more? I just think you should just get the Retaliator. This one you can't take friends with. It doesn't come with a bed. You just get in and out of the cockpit directly. So you lose a lot of the other features in the other ship in the Retaliator that I think are just make the Retaliator so much more viable and so much more worth your while. But let me know what you guys think about this. So I did calculate to get all my recommendeds, not the alts, all the recommended ships on this is going to take you about 20 million credits. If you are an impatient person, you just want to have your whole suite of ships, looking on eBay and elsewhere for people selling AUC or Alpha credits, Earth United credits, whatever it is, Empire United credits. That would cost you probably like $20. So I would not personally ever recommend you going and buying these in the pledge store. That's just my perspective. When you can just, they don't do resets on ships all that often, and they do let you know months in advance. And there are currently no notifications that the devs plan to completely wash out accounts and get rid of all of their AEUC. And by the time the full game launches in 10 years, joke, I'll be ready to restart and try out with getting back up and running with just an Avenger or Titan anyway. So that's my perspective. Let me know what you guys think in the comments down below. Did I miss a ship or a type of thing that you want to do? Note that some of the other pirating with the Mantis pulling people out of Quantum Drive, trying to get some money from salvaging. None of those are currently workable in the game right now. And refueling with the Star Lifter, as an example, is also currently not viable. It's just not worth the investment. It is something that people are testing out and piloting, preparing for the launch of the Pyro system, which is going to need that mechanic. But until we get to that point, I don't think it's worth your time, effort, or energy. And I think that we should just focus on these group of activities right now, especially if you are new and just thinking about what to do. But again, if I missed something, you want me to cover it, let me know. I imagine this will be a video I do every patch to get people updated on what's available and what I think the best options are. So happy to include that feedback in my next round. But until then, good luck on the path. Get out there. Keep on gaming. Bye for now.